Okay, folks, in today's video, I want to go ahead and share with you my long-term review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. Long-term simply meaning 6 months. Exactly. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, first things first, I want to go ahead and just fly over the cosmetic part of it because that's going to take like 1 second. Cosmetically, this thing still looks brand new. So 6 months later, this tablet simply looks brand new. And the reason being the size of the tablet, and I did mention this in one of my previous videos. This is my home tablet. I don't take this tablet out much because of the size. It's not very portable. Well, at least to me, I prefer to take either my Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 or sometimes my Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, the new one, because those are very portable tablets. But anyway, so because this one stays at home all the time, it doesn't really get the opportunity to be mixed in like a, backpack along with other things like pencils and pens and, cameras and all that stuff. So I have 0 scratches on this guy here. The second reason, besides the size of the tablet itself, the second reason why it still looks very new is because of the keyboard book cover that we have here. It fits so seamlessly to it. It fits so very well with this tablet, and of course it does protect it, and it turns into a stand. As you know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, then you probably know that you can have this as the stand. I keep it at home. It's generally either on my desk, or maybe if I'm in the kitchen, it's on the kitchen counter, or if I'm laying on the couch maybe watching a movie, I'm holding it so it doesn't go out much, and that's the reason why this thing is still cosmetically very clean. Now let's say you don't have the same habits as I do. Let's say, even for example, you only have the tablet and you don't have the keyboard, the back cover, none of that stuff. So you just have this guy here. I'm struggling to remove. You just have this guy here. This is still a very solid build. It's fairly thin, thinner than the other ones, the Tab S8 and the S8 Plus, but it's still a pretty robust build. And as I mentioned in some of my previous videos, and of course in the full review of this tablet, by the way, this is not a review of this tablet. So if you want a comprehensive take on this tablet, please make sure to hit the link to, well, at the end of this video, to hit the link and go watch the full review of this tablet. But anyway, so like I said, in the full review, this is built according to Samsung with what they call armor aluminum. It's built with a stronger material, a more sturdier material that's also less prone to scratches and dings and things like that. So even if you just have the tablet without the covers, you should still be able to have this guy here look clean after 6 months of usage. So now let's go ahead and talk about the performance here. Performance has remained the same. Typically 6 months is not enough to say, things are drastically different. In this case here, 6 months later, I'm actually feeling like this performs better, right? It's still a monster for productivity. You have this gigantic canvas here, and for people out there looking for a huge canvas for their drawings and things like that, this would be a nice pickup if obviously if it falls within your budget. But anyway, I digress there for a second. So in terms of productivity, this is still the king of productivity. Now you may be wondering, why is this the king and not the S8 or the S8 Plus, since they essentially are sharing the same chip? Well, the chipset may be the same among all three, in that lineup. But the thing is, with a gigantic screen like this, you're able to multitask in a much more comfortable way, right? So when you divide the screen in 2 or 3 or whatever, or you have multiple windows floating and you're rearranging them, this much screen real estate actually makes it so that when you're dividing and, splitting your screens, obviously the windows are larger than what you would have on the Galaxy Tab S8, which, by the way, I happen to have nearby here. This would be like 2 Galaxy Tab S8 here in terms of size, right? We are looking at the 14.6 inches display. This is a massive display. In case you were not aware, I'm sure by now you're aware of this tablet. This is the largest tablet, or the largest flagship tablet that you can find out there, with such a beautiful display. I don't know how to explain to you how nice this display is, especially when it comes down to like watching movies, entertainment, playing games, and things like that. You have a super AMOLED display here. This thing is so nice. The only way for you to truly experience this is to actually have this in hands and watching a movie. Let's say watching Avatar, for example. It's just so amazing. And then of course you have these quad speakers set up, the sound quality coming out of those, and those are tuned by AKG, by the way. The sound coming out of those, so crisp and really loud also. Very, very nice sound quality coming out of that. And speaking of sound, the microphones, because you have a bunch of mics here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 3 mics around the tablet. They pick up the sound. By the way, I'm switching away from display now, talking about just mic. They pick up the sound so well so that when you're making video calls, sound quality is amazing. It's very, very clean. And I've actually tested this out. So nice compared to other tablets that may have, the sound that's a little bit muffled. So for video quality, top notch. And still sticking to video call quality there, you have a dual setup here for the front facing camera, and they're both 12 megapixels. You have a 12 megapixel wide and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And what this combo here enables is something similar to what Apple offers in that center stage, right? So with Apple, you have center stage. Here you have what they call auto framing. When you are using your tablet, as you move away or the camera just tracks your movement and adjusts to make sure that you're always, in frame, right? And then of course, if you have more people join the call, then it uses that ultra wide lens to pretty much expand and make sure that everyone and absorb as much light as possible, and making sure that everyone is within the call. So in terms of front facing camera, this is going to be the best that you can get out there on an Android flagship tablet. Now the camera on the back is also very good for a tablet. You get a 13 megapixel wide and a 6 megapixel ultra wide. And of course, like I always say, if you're taking pictures with your tablet, whether it's this tablet, Apple tablet, whatever the case may be, you just got to make sure that the setting is well lit in order for you to be able to capture the full quality, or at least come pretty close to the full quality of whatever the picture is that you're taking, in order for you to have decent or nice looking pictures. Now I want to go ahead and switch back to performance here. Of course, this is loaded with, just like it was the case with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 and the S8 Plus, a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is simply a beast of productivity. You can power through any task, light, medium, heavy task, whatever the case may be, it will power through it without any issues. I haven't had any issues with this. In fact, I even pushed it far by testing, video editing on this tablet, and it did extremely well. Very, very, very good tablet for video editing, not only because of a gigantic screen there, making it a lot more comfortable for you to go ahead and edit videos, but also because of the raw power that it does offer for editing. Definitely better than what you had on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus from the previous generation. I know a couple of content creators who praise this tablet. Those people who typically, edit videos on their tablets. I personally don't. I typically would edit on my desktop, on my main, I like to be comfortable and just sit at my desk. I know some people who edit videos on their tablet, and once they bought this, it became their main machine for video editing. So in terms of power, this guy here has it. The Samsung S Pen, of course, has been just excellent using on here. You already know. And again, if you are an artist, this is probably the best stylus you will find on a tablet out there today. That's literally my stance on that. So I'm not gonna go into too many details about the S Pen, but I made a bunch of videos on this guy here, so you can always check out how I feel or what my take is on the S Pen. Now let's talk battery here really quick. This guy here is loaded with a huge, to match that size, right? A gigantic 11,200 milliamp, I believe, battery size in here. And that sucker does last the entire day. Obviously, it's going to depend on how you use your tablet, but battery is excellent on here, and Samsung does offer a number of ways for you to be able to save that battery and extend that battery life. In fact, I'm even thinking about making a video on the different ways that Samsung offers, for you to be able to save the battery and extend the battery life. Now, with everything that I've covered, it doesn't simply mean that the tablet is always, it's all good, right? It's not a perfect tablet. I mean, just that size, even though I really like it, some people, that's a huge turnoff for a lot of people, right? So looking at such a huge tablet, looking like almost a TV there, that's a major turnoff to a lot of people who want something that is very portable, right? Now, the other gripe that I have with this tablet is the keyboard, right? So even though it's a very nice keyboard to have if you have this thing sitting on a flat surface, it's still pretty flimsy. So if you have it on your lap, not the best way to use the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra while typing, right? You could use it for other things, but you know, if you're just using the keyboard while typing, you will not enjoy that experience. The other thing that I don't like still have to do with the case, right? The keyboard cover here. It's the price, $350 for this guy. Now granted, I bought mine. When I bought the tablet, it came with this for free. I remember when I pre-ordered, like Samsung always does. But other than that, you know, the keyboard itself is pretty nice. It's backlit, right? It's pretty comfortable typing on, and it's a full keyboard. So something, if you are looking for something this size, you could definitely enjoy using and typing on this. So there you have it. 6 months later, this guy here is still a beast of productivity. In fact, I feel it has gotten better. I recommend this to people who need it. You know, this is very targeted, right? It's not for everyone, but to those people who actually need this, I would, you know, just close my eyes and say, just go ahead and grab one. It's a very nice tablet. It offers fantastic value to those people. Again, like the average person, I wouldn't necessarily say go ahead and pick up this guy here, but there are people out there who need something like this, and I've covered this in my full review of the tablet itself. Samsung is supporting this up to 4 years for major updates and 5 years for security updates. But anyways, let's go ahead and stop this video right here. I'm certainly hoping that this was informative, letting you know how it's been doing and how it's doing 6 months later. It's still an amazing tablet, and that's pretty much all I have for you today. Let me know what any questions you may have in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in that comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Make sure to like, of course, subscribe, and share the video. And up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.